Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of Team 4250 The Lightsabers. In this video, I will be teaching you how to get a custom output from the TensorFlow sample code for Freight Frenzy. We will be doing this in on-bot Java. To do this, you will be using custom variables, if statements, and while loops. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. The first thing you will need is the TensorFlow sample code from first. So you will either use the webcam version or the non-webcam version, and you can find that in the samples drop-down when you create a new file in on-bot Java. Once you have your sample code, come down to where it says private static final string underscore before your key equals, and then there will be some quotation marks, and this your new before your key goes here text. So to use TensorFlow, you will have to get your own Vuforia key, which you can figure out how to do at this link, which is in the sample code. So you'll just use that link and go get yourself a Vuforia key, which you will then delete this text here, and then copy that Vuforia key in there instead. After you have done that, we are going to come up to right under where it says private static final string labels ball cube duck marker. Press enter to give ourselves a little bit more space, and we're going to start creating the variables that we will be using. I'm not going to explain what these variables do at this time. I will explain that as we get into the if statements for our while loop. The first one we are going to create is private boolean camera stop, which we are going to set to equal true. Then we are going to create private int pan number, which we are going to set to equal 400,000. Then we are going to create private float camera number, which we will set to 0. Then we will create private int position num, which we will set to 1. Then we will create private boolean site, which we will set to false. In your code, you can have these variable names be whatever you want them to. However, I would suggest you write them out like this for now, so you do not get confused as I am writing the code, and write everything out just like you see it on screen here. Pause the video to make sure you have everything correct, and then unpause it when you are ready to continue your program. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to scroll down to this if op mode is active, and then this while op mode is active, and this is where we're going to be doing most of our program. So the first thing you are going to do is you are going to get rid of this if op mode is active line, just delete it, and then go down here, and the second to last squiggly bracket, you are going to delete that too. Now we just have this while statement to work with. So in this while statement, the first thing you are going to do is come after this op mode is active, open parentheses, closed parentheses, and you're going to put space, ampersand, ampersand, camera stop, and you're going to put a closed parentheses. And so basically this is the boolean we are going to be using to stop our while loop so that it doesn't keep running forever. After you have done that, come down below this I++ semicolon, press space, and type if, open parentheses, recognition dot get label, open parentheses, close parentheses, dot equals, open parentheses, quotation marks, duck with a capital D, quotation marks, close parentheses, open squiggly bracket, press enter, and then type site equals true, semicolon, and put a closed squiggly bracket. Basically, this is just saying if the TensorFlow sees a duck, then we are going to set sight to true. We are going to use that down below in our other if statements to stop the while loop or look for the duck in other positions. After you have done that, come below this telemetry.update and go 2 more squiggly brackets below. Press enter twice to give ourselves some space, and then we are going to type if open parentheses, camera number equals sign pan number, close parentheses, ampersand, sight equals sign false, close parentheses, open squiggly bracket. Now this is where things get tricky. If you want your robot to strafe to see the middle position of the barcode, you are going to put your strafe code here. If you want a servo to turn the camera to see the middle position of the barcode, you'll put your servo program right here. But it is completely up to you how you do that. Whichever way you do it, though, does not change what is below this line of code. So, below that strafe program or that servo program that you have put in there, you are going to write position num equals 2 semicolon space and then a closed squiggly bracket. Basically, this is just saying if camera number is equal to pan number, and if you remember, pan number is equal to 400,000, and sight equals false, which, if we look up here, means that if the TensorFlow has not seen a duck, then it will set position number to 2. And position number equals 2 is basically how we tell the robot that the duck is in the second position. After typing out that if statement, press enter twice more, and then write camera number plus equals 1. Plus equals is just shorthand for add 1 to this variable. After doing that, press enter and then type if open parentheses camera number is greater than pan number asterisk 2. The asterisk is how we simplify multiplication in programming language. So after typing pan number asterisk 2, you will put a close parentheses and then an open squiggly bracket, press enter, and type camera stop equals false, semicolon, press enter, camera number equals 0, semicolon, enter, and then position num equals 3, semicolon. Then press space and put a closed squiggly bracket. So, as you can see, what we're doing here is if camera number, which is counting up every time we run through this while loop, is greater than pan number times 2, so greater than 2,000, then we set camera stop to false, which will stop the while loop from running, and then we set position number to 3, which basically says because we know that the duck isn't in the first position we looked at or the second position we looked at, it must be in that third position. So with that if statement written, we can now move on to the third and final if statement. So for this one, you're going to press enter twice, and you're going to write if open parentheses sight close parentheses space open squiggly bracket. You're going to write camera stop equals false, semicolon, and then camera number equals 0, semicolon. Enter, and then a closed squiggly bracket. So this is basically saying if it sees a duck, set camera stop to false, and then that will stop the while loop. And from these if statements here, and setting position num to equal 1 at the very beginning, the robot will know whether the duck is in the first position or the second position. So now that you've done all that, you can use this position num in if statements to make your robot run. So to do that, it would look something like this. It would be if, open parentheses, position num equals 1. We'll do the number, the first position you looked at for the first one, close parentheses, open squiggly bracket, and then you would write your drive program in right there, and then when you were done with the if statement for the first position, you would put a closed squiggly bracket. So I hope this video has been a learning opportunity for many of you, and I'm excited to see more teams use TensorFlow in the future because it is a really interesting program, and it is super sad that first does not provide us with code to receive an output from their TensorFlow, but I hope everybody was able to gain some knowledge from this, and from this point forward, you will all be able to create your own TensorFlow code. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already to be notified if future videos come out, and may the force be with you.